There's a renovation deal going on out there in Jersey near Paterson, Hinchliffe Stadium. It's in Paterson. And great job today. They had a big press conference with the governor of New Jersey and also the mayor of Paterson. And this guy right there, the great Doc Gooden, as we, basically do what we can for these old ballparks, which is great to see. Doc, of course, the great Met. And he says, hello, long time no chat. Doc, nice to talk again. Christopher Russo, how are you today, okay?
Good, good. How you doing, Chris? It's good to be here. A lot of history going on here today. Happy to take part, and it's always good to talk to you, buddy.
Oh, always a pleasure. First off, how do you feel? Let's get that done first. Good mental health right now? How things going? Things okay?
Things are going great. Again, just taking it one day at a time. Have a great support group. Everybody's been great. Just continuing to do the things that got me to this point, not only just for today, but long term, and just staying the course and staying with the program, buddy.
There you go. That's number one. Number two, how about this project right now here in Paterson? These great little ballparks are phenomenal. You love the old ballpark, too, the Negro League ballpark. This is only one of three standing. Probably one in Birmingham. I'm not even sure where the third one is. But that's great to see. Give me some thoughts going out to Paterson today. What'd you see that you enjoyed? Go ahead.
It's great. The city come together with the councilmen, obviously the mayor, the Governor Murphy, and these guys for this project. Hinchliffe Ballpark, one of the ballparks that the Negro League players played at, is to be able to come again and not only learn the history of the Negro League, but also a place they can come and play games, hang out as well. Because as we know, there's so many distractions for the younger generations, at least just to give them somewhere to go. And while they're here having fun with their friends, they also can learn the history of the Negro League. And I just think it was a wonderful day. I was just happy to take part.
100%. Forgotten. All the greats who came out of there and who eventually made it into the big leagues. And, of course, long before that, the Josh Gibsons, Cool Papa Bell and Satchel Paige and all those. I tell you, you were great about 30 years beforehand. I mean, Cole gets $324 million. Barra's going to make a fortune. That could have been you if it's 2020 there, Doc. How about that for a sec? Go ahead.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got to blame my parents for having me too soon.
Yes.
Actually, it's great for those guys. I'm happy for them, and the guys who paved the way for me, the Kurt Floyd and the guys along that generation. And it was tougher for those guys, like, Yogi Berra, DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, and those guys, because they had to get jobs once the season was over. So I feel worse for those guys. My generation is okay. And, Gary, my nephew, he's done pretty well, so he takes care of me.
Yeah, he sure does, Mr. Sheffield. 84 All-Star game in Candlestick. He was superb. 85, phenomenal, and 86, too. You got a specific memory there, Doc? The game in St. Louis late in the 85 season, that wonderful year that you had. Obviously, the strikeouts in the All-Star game. Is there a period there, or is it a zone there in 84, 85, 86 that sticks out most of all?
Oh, man. And you know what, Chris? You bring that up, and all those years was special. I had great teammates. Obviously, a great pitching coach, and Mel Stoudemire played a big part of my career. And the fans that was there through that time giving me the support and the energy. It was no better feeling than getting two strikes on the batter and all the fans at Shea Stadium standing up, wanting to strike out, clapping their hands. And it actually worked into my advantage because the umpire knew if I threw a close pitch and he didn't call it a strike, the fans were going to let him have it. And the hitters knew that if it was close and they didn't swing, they didn't want to go down looking at they had to swing at the pitches. So I was able to expand the strike zone. And so those things worked into my favor. But if I had to pick one thing out of those 3 years, I'd probably say that winning the World Series and doing it at Shea Stadium, sharing that moment with the fans. And I remember all the fans running out on the field. It was scary, but definitely a lot of fun and a memorable moment.
It sure was. I tell you, Doc, too, you look at your 85 season, there's only maybe 6 to 8 pitchers in the history of the sport who had a year as good as you had in 85. What triggered it? Did you feel in spring training this was going to be something special early in the year? The Mets didn't win it that year. They won 98 games, but what'd you win, 24, 25 ball games? You were so good, unhittable. Did you sense it right away in spring training that 85 would be something special?
Oh, definitely. I think 85, like you said, winning 98 games and having to go home. I wish we would have had the wild card back then, but it was a lot tougher. But I tipped my hat to the Cardinals that year. But for myself personally, it actually started, I remember at the AllStar Game in '84, I was pitching to Gary Carter, and I was very nervous. And he said, don't worry, just calm down, just throw the ball the way you did during the first half of the season. I was fortunate enough to strike out the 3 batters that I faced in AllStar Game. And after that, Gary said, wouldn't this be nice to do every 5th day? Not knowing that we was going to trade for Gary that November. And once we made the trade for Gary, before we got to spring training, he called me up. He said he looks forward to catching me. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a big year. Once we got to spring training, at that time, it was in St. Petersburg before we went to Port St. Lucie. And Gary was one of the guys that communicated a lot. And when I was pitching, if I was up 10-0, he always wanted me to pitch like it was 1-0. Gary wanted 10 strikeouts. He wanted a complete game, and he wanted to dominate. And I just fed off of that. He got the best out of me every 5th day. And obviously, between starts, on my work day, Mel Stoudemire would challenge me between starts so I didn't get complacent with what I was doing, to always find something to work on and improve on. So I would tip my cap to those 2 guys for saying they had a big influence on my 85 season, as well as my father, and just keeping track with that. And every game that I went out there, and no disrespect to other players, but just totally wanted to dominate, and that played a big part of it. And Gary definitely was a huge part of my success that year.
Now, you were not the one who threw the first no-hitter perfect game in Met history. Santana did. You came close a couple times, as did Seaver. Did you ever feel in that 3-year period that you had no-hit, perfect game, no-hit stuff, and a bad break cost you? I think once you got broken up in the 8th inning, if I'm not mistaken. Give me some thoughts on that. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. In '85, I would say a lot of those games, once I got to like the 4th or 5th inning, and I felt I had my good stuff, I thought I had a good chance. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And then I had, in '84, I had the one game where Keith Moreland hit a slow roller to Ray Knight. He couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and at that time, they gave him a base hit. I think Red Foley was the scorekeeper, ended up giving him a base hit, and that was the only base runner for that game. And in '88, I think the game that you're talking about, if my memory serves me correctly, was I ended up hitting a home run in the 7th inning of that game, and then for some reason I forgot how to pitch the rest of the game and gave up a hit in the 8th. You're right.
I remember that. I remember that '88 game. I don't remember I remember Red Foley. I don't remember that ground ball. Doc, good to see you. Peppy, like to hear it, like to see it. Keep up the good work. Happy holidays. Always a pleasure to talk to you, pal. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. Great talking to you.